WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. What's up, everybody? It's me, Phil, and this is Phil and Friends, and I'm so happy that you're back here on air with me, Phil, and you're my friend. Listen, so if you are listening live in New York, thank you so much for listening. If you want to come on and see what we're actually doing, you can log on to YouTube, Phil and Friends Radio, to see everything that we're doing live here that you're listening at home. Listen, but I got a great show for you today. I've got four beautiful, amazing, talented women. We're coming on part two, the misrepresentation of Black women. Angry Black women. Are they angry? Are they really angry? But it's the misrepresentation. So let's go ahead and get this show started. I've got Dr. Nina Price in the building. What's up, Nina? We got Tiff. What's going on? Z.
Hello.
And what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Feeling fine.
Good.
Listen, y'all about to bring the heat. I'm actually kind of nervous. I don't know why I got nervous all of a sudden.
You should be.
Listen, everyone has requested this show, part two of the Angry Black Woman, the misrepresentation of Angry Black Women. Listen, we're here to demystify this term, Angry Black Woman, and you all are here to set the record straight from your, and I like to say age category, but age ain't nothing but a number, but it is a different level and a different, we're going to talk about that. So let's start with Dr.
Grown.
Y'all grown. Here you go. Grown. Some of you got grown kids. Been through some stuff.
We all have grown kids.
Right. And so that's what we're here today. So let's start. Let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. Dr. Nina, let's start with you.
My name is Nina Price, affectionately known as Queen. Yes, I am Philip's cousin. Have been. How do you feel? Yeah, that long. Yeah. And so I am. Yeah. So I am excited to be here. These are all my friends on this panel, and we all have similar personalities, actually, but our lives are not. Well, some of us have parallel lives, but what else would you like to know about me? I don't know.
That's good enough. Okay. Let's go with Tiff. Hey, Tiff.
Hi, I am Tiffany Littlejohn, affectionately known as Phil's cousin also.
Yes.
And I am so happy to be here today. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Absolutely.
And although I don't know the other ladies on the panel personally, but because you're a friend of Nina's, you're about a friend of mine. And so hopefully one day we will meet in person.
Absolutely. Yes. And before we go to Angela, can everybody just mute their mic if they're not talking? There's a little feedback in the background. Okay, there we go. All right, Angela, to you. How you doing?
I'm good. The name is Angela Lowe. I used to be married, so therefore some people know me as Angela Blade. Mother of four, friend of Nina's. I'm not angry neither. I am a happy Black woman, a happy Black woman. And I'm here to tell you the story.
Well, we want to hear your story. And I want to talk about, you brought up the divorce, so we may want to bring that up too, okay? I don't know if you had an Angela Bassett moment or whatever, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. Z, to you. See what's going on.
Hey. I am the awesome Z Edwards. I am
You're good. Go ahead.
Oh.
You're good, Z. You're good.
I am the awesome Z Edwards, and I am friends with Nina. I am a mother of three and a grandmother of three, and I am an exciting single.
Okay. This is a live show, so Nina, go ahead and text Z and tell her to come back on, okay? We'll get her in the studio. So if you're listening live in New York, this is a live show. You can go on Phil and Friends Radio at YouTube to see what's going on right here in the studio. So let's go ahead and jump right into the topic. Are you all an angry Black woman? Is that term real? Is it a real statement? Is it true? Let's start. Anybody can jump in. Go ahead.
What happened?
It's okay. You're back.
Oh, okay. I am I am single, and just like Angela, I am happy. I am not angry.
Okay. You're not angry. And Nina, you can take you're on mute, Nina. So go ahead. Let's jump right
Angry
into
is
it.
a subjective term. I mean, like I asked at the beginning, who determined anger? Where did that come from? I think by my life as a researcher, I have questions, lots of questions. And the first question is, who determined that we were angry? Who said that? And why does their word carry so much weight when it comes to describing women? Kind of sounds like a man came up with that term. And that's disheartening on so many levels.
Anyone else want to jump in here? And I believe someone has a little bit of feedback, so if everybody can mute their mic when they're not talking, that would be cool. Anybody can jump in here. So then you made a great point. Maybe a man came up with this idea of the angry black woman term. Maybe it was a white man. Maybe it was a black man. Tiff, what do you think about that? The term angry black woman.
You know, when you called me initially to come on the show, I was kind of taken aback by the title, and I thought, well, maybe I'm not fit for this, you know. And so, because I do not consider myself as angry, I have no reason to be angry. But when I listened to the other show and then talking to you more, I thought, okay, so the misrepresentation, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I've also been thinking about, why are we labeled as such?
Right.
And so this has caused me to kind of take a look at my different roles as wife, mother, educational leader, and just try to figure out and hone in on what would make somebody think that I'm angry or that my sisters are angry.
You know, and I think anger could be, I think that's definitely it's a misrepresentation, but I also believe that anger is misconstrued as perhaps authoritative. And I say that in the sense that every woman represented on this panel has pretty much the same overall demeanor in our professional lives as moms. I think, well, Tiff is the only person that's married on this post, but I think it's authoritative that we are go-getters. We are leaders in our own right. And I think that anger comes across because in certain circles, we don't come across as being submissive. And I think that's the misrepresentation, that we have to have something to submit to in order for that side to show. It's just not a prevalent side that naturally exists unless there is a reason for it to exist.
Right. Let's get Angela. Go ahead.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in and say something with what Nina said. So we are educators. We are professional. We are mothers. We work. We are entrepreneurs. And when you align that with a white woman that does the same thing, let's say somebody give us a sentence to read. We said, compared to the white woman, it becomes aggressive. You know, I think it's the stress from every day, the stressors that we go through, kind of play into it as being angry, the things we go through as mothers, as professional women. But this angry black woman, this goes way back before our time, way back. So that's a part of history. That's something we all need to look into. Where did it come from?
Right.
You know,
not to mention, but do they? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Z.
Not to mention, but do they really mean to call us angry? I mean, is it because we don't settle for the okie doke, or we don't have time to pretend that what a person is telling us, you know, their word is bond, because we really know it's not? Are we angry because we don't settle for what we've settled for in the past? There's a lot of things that whoever this person that come up with the angry black woman definition, those questions need to be answered. I can't be angry in my household. I got a young man that's looking at me that I have to raise. I don't want him with an angry black woman, so I can't portray myself as an angry black woman. I have to be excited. I have to be about my business, because that's what my son is watching, and that's what I want him to go and explore. I don't want him with anyone that's angry or portrays to be angry. So I mean that whole angry Black woman, that definition, it lingers, and I really wish that there was some way we could figure out where that came from and what it actually means.
Well, since we don't have the
Go ahead.
Anybody jump in?
Could it be because we're more aggressive than a white woman?
Say that again.
Could it be because we're more aggressive? We're more aggressive than the white women?
Now, when you say aggressive,
is it really more? Is it really aggressive?
Well, so because Karen does go crazy, and we've seen videos of Karen going crazy. But a lot of, I want to play devil's advocate. But go, Tiff. I see you. I don't want to cut you off. Tiff, go ahead.
I don't know that it is a case of Black, white, Mexican, or anything. What I think it is a case of is boundaries and expectations. And so I think we came up in a time that's much different than our parents or people who came before us. And so we have set boundaries for what we expect from people, right? This is at work, this is at home, this is anywhere. And as a person who is in a leadership role, there are a lot of people younger than I am who don't always like the fact that I'm in a position of authority, right? Or that I have to tell them something to do, give them some kind of actionable feedback or something like that. So I'm not sure that it's necessarily a Black, white thing. I think it comes down to boundaries and expectations, and those things that we may have accepted or not said anything about in the past. We are vocal about those things right now. I have been, I think, all my life, according to my parents, but I'm vocal about those things. And you can't just tell me something and expect me to take it or to just listen to what you have to say. I'm going to need to know why. I'm going to ask questions. And so some people don't like questions asked of them. No, I need to know why. You can't just tell me walk 3 paces to my left and expect me to go. And because I need to know why I'm doing it. You know, I don't just do things because I'm told to do those things. And so I think it comes down to boundaries and expectations. And not only that, but we are breaking glass ceilings every day that were not broken in the past. And so people don't know how to take us. That's any race. Any race. They don't know how to take us in these leadership positions. And this generation coming up behind us, they're forced to be reckoned with. They think we're something else. Just wait until my kids come behind me. And that's going to be a totally different thing. But I think there is a misrepresentation because I'm not angry at all. I just have expectations and boundaries. And they're situational.
There are situations.
I totally agree. They are absolutely
boundaries and expectations as somebody else. She's absolutely not, because we have that rapport, we have that relationship. And until I establish some kind of relationship with you on whatever level it is, then we're going to be here. This is where you belong. Nina belongs over here, and you can't get the same thing as Nina. You cannot in this category.
Now, does the expectation come with neck rolling and the finger popping? Because I'm playing devil's advocate. Help me out. Does that come with
absolutely not? That is so not.
Seen me roll my neck or pop my fingers, point my fingers, any of that. I'm just asking.
But it does come with a high level vocabulary. It does come with that. Level up or leave.
Right.
So those are the rules.
Go ahead, Z.
And we do know we put flavor on anything. So if we roll our neck a little bit, does that mean we're angry? Or does that mean we put flavor on our answer?
That's a good point. So let's shift the dynamic a little bit. I know Miss Angela, you mentioned divorce, and I want to bring up relationships. This is not about divorce, but it's about relationships. How does it work when you're dating Black men and you're dealing with this idea that Black women are too difficult to date because you all are just a little bit too spicy. I can go get Karen and Becky. She's a little bit more calm. She's a little bit, I can deal with her. She's more accepting and she's more open.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, you know those are my word. Ooh,
I need to take a drink on that.
Last time we had drinks.
Child, I guess that's why I'm still single, child.
Well,
Listen,
that's just go ahead.
I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But again, it goes back to Tiff when she said expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know up front, what are you expecting from me? I'm gonna tell you what I'm expecting from you. Mm-hmm. In this dating world, ooh, me and your cousin Nina can tell you some things.
We got stories.
Because people want to hear.
We got stories.
Unbelievable stories. And it's not us. I'm happy. I'm happily dating. Okay. I am happily dating, but the men, again, in this dating world, I need to know your expectations from me because some are expecting a Becky. Yes, daddy. No, daddy. Whatever you want to do, daddy. Answer the phone all the time. No, I have a life. I work. I have kids. I'm doing my own thing. So I can't be there for you when you want me to, unless we are building something together and we can communicate. But yeah, it's all about expectations in the dating world. I suggest all women, especially as Black women, ask that up front. What are you expecting from me? Because maybe you're not the woman for them. And we have come to realize that we're not the woman for a lot of these men out here. Ain't that right, Nina?
That's absolutely accurate. And I have come to learn that while we all like to consider ourselves dateable, most of us are not. Most of us are not what a well-educated, gainfully employed Black woman would expect or desire. In that they present themselves as one way, but the reality is that they're just not ready for real responsibilities and
that's the word, ready,
because dating is a responsibility. It is that's when you have to tap into your unselfish side. And while Becky and Karen may offer something different, and I'm sure that they do, I'm sure that they are credible in their own right. However, in the right hands, we could all be that submissive person. And as Tiffany said, things are situational, and what's good for one person may not necessarily work for the next. So a lot of baggage comes with situations like that, and people haven't really accepted that they haven't healed while they're out here trying to date somebody like me or somebody like Angie or somebody like Z. Tiff isn't dating because she's married. But you have to come to the proverbial table with more than just a wallet, with more than just a car. I'm not interested in any of those things. I have all of those things. So what else?
May I add, some don't even have a car.
They don't. And
out here dating.
Or they have.
They might live in New York. Hold on, let me cut you off. They might live in New York. I ain't got a car. I live in New York.
But that's different. That's the society that you live in. That's not ours. You have to have a car here. You know that.
We're in Texas.
Listen, I'm not riding a bus. Right. I'm not taking Uber. I'm not doing any of those things. Right. But Becky and Karen, I'm sure they offer something like that. And we don't need men that are necessarily what's the new term now? High value man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great and all, but high value men come with high value expectations and responsibilities. So that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day. But let's go back to the topic of when you're dating, people see us as being difficult because, again, boundaries and expectations, what it is that I'm going to tolerate and what I'm not going to tolerate. So that leads us back to the anger, because a man has to present himself in a certain way to get a certain type of woman from me.
Now, you all keep bringing up this boundaries and expectations. Do you make the boundaries and expectations clear up front? Even as a married, not even talking about married, even at work, whatever it is it clear up front? This is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm about. Do not cross this line. Is that something that you do professionally, personally?
I do it as situations arise. I don't think I can lay it. I think it would be too much for a person for me to just lay it all out there at the beginning. It will come across as being arrogant. Mm-hmm. I've been called that. It would come across as, it doesn't come across in a positive light. So as situations arise, I present that, but not all at once. No.
And for me, professionally, you have to.
Not to mention, that's what the get to know me stage is all about.
Oh, no, you're fine. I think you might be having audio issues, but go ahead. Go ahead. And Tiff, you can jump right in after. Go ahead, Z. Okay.
No, I was just saying, sometimes that's what the get to know me stage is. And it's kind of frustrating because a lot of times it's like nobody knows what the conversation is supposed to be like at the initial meet and greet, if you will. A lot of times it's just like one of those things where you're talking.
Okay. Well, Ms. Z, we have a technical difficulties with Z, but Tiff, go ahead and jump right in with your point.
What I was saying is professionally, yes, you have to set those expectations at the beginning. And there's just a way to do it. It doesn't have to come off as angry, but you have to say, this is what I expect. This is what your role is. This is what my role is. Do your job or your replacement will. And you don't have to say it like that in those certain terms, but just case in point, I sent an email last week to the staff about some state testing things that are coming up. But I've been talking to you all semester, or I've been talking about this since January or February. So at this point, we should have these things down. And so the tone of my email had people checking on me to make sure I was okay. And it was not nasty. It was very professional, but they got my point. They understood what I was saying. This is what I expected 2 months ago. But now that y'all have done things this way, this is how it's going to have to be. And so, I was told by several people, oh, you had some people in their feelings. But did I get the results that I wanted? And I'm telling you, I was not ugly. I was very professional, but my point was made because at this point in the school year, you know what I'm saying?
It's the end of April.
So, yeah, right. So when you say, are those expectations set in the beginning? As a professional, I can speak on that. Yes. As a wife, I cannot tell you, no, I can't tell you that because I've been married since 1999 and I'm so much of a different person than I was back in 1999. But it's so interesting because I do have a lot of single friends and I love them just the same. And a lot of times it's because the representatives that they have met have not been who they really are. And so I cannot blame it on my single friends if they're still single, whatever. And I know some of them who say, okay, listen, I can finance myself. I can do this. I can do that. This is what I need from you. I need the time. I need the attention. And you make that very clear at the beginning. They've made it very clear at the beginning. And whoever this Joe Blow is that says that they can deliver these things, they still fall short. Okay, so let me reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Nina, and I got this. This is what I need from you. This is what I need for you to bring to the table. And you still don't. To me, at that point, it's a choice. It's a choice. You're making a choice not to do these things. Again, I can't speak for a single person. I can just only tell you what I'm hearing from my friends. But the expectations are made very clear. They're made very clear.
They're very clear. Well, we need to get Mr. Lil John in here to see if you're an angry black woman.
But I mean, in speaking from a single person's perspective, educational leader, business owner, I wear a lot of hats, and Tiff and I were assistant principals together at a school district around these parts here in the city. And, we used to swap stories, but my demeanor as an assistant principal or whatever job I held, sometimes it did overlap into my relationships. And it is not uncommon for me to hear, I'm not your students, or I'm not your teachers, or you can't talk to me like a kid.
Right.
Well, and you know, that's a part of growth that I have had to acknowledge, that sometimes I do that, but sometimes you act.
You know what I'm thinking
Like
in my head is I'm thinking you're saying, Nina, 1, 2, as you did, 3, that's it.
Yeah, I'll wait. You know, that's what teachers say. I'll wait. When you ask them to be quiet, I'll wait.
So see you doing
Yeah, that's
that.
what you got to do. So, you know, you got to give them that wait time. But,
Right.
you know, you cannot treat your man like that. And I get that. But I still have to have a man that is strong enough to turn that part of me off and allow me to live in my feminine essence. So that I don't have to be that authority figure, because I mean, I literally wake up telling people what to do.
Is that from? I didn't mean to cut you off. Is that from? Because we do find a lot of Black women are, y'all gonna kill me. Y'all a little rough when it comes to love, and this is how you should do this, and then you already know where we come from. It ain't no sugarcoat nothing. It is what it is. You better do. You know, so
what it is.
It is what it is. It's like, hey, can I put a little sugar on it just a little bit? We don't find, and that's been a conversation with a lot of Black men, is that can we just get just a little bit of ounce of caring? But that's not to generalize. Miss Angela, you want to jump in here? And Nina, if you're not, please go ahead.
I was about to say, you were saying the way you brought up, in my past relationship, my ex would say that a lot. You know, you don't love me the way I need to be loved. This is the way you were brought up. I'm an only child. I did have a rough upbringing, you know, and I thought about it after the divorce, and I he was right. You know, I wasn't loved on, so sometimes it's hard for me to love. And I have 4 children. I love them to death, but it is at times I had to catch myself, even with my kids. They run up to me, want to hug, want to kiss and stuff, and I'd be like, "Oh, now," you know, to say, "No, no, no, love them, love on them." But since I didn't have that, it was kind of hard. But now I'm aware, and I try my best. I really do. And even in I'm not gonna say I'm in a relationship. I'm not. But no, I'm single. I'm single. But in this dating world, I'm adjusting, and I'm learning to love on a man, and to step back and to step down a little and allow him to lead, and not be so, oh boy, gone, and this isn't it, you know, just being hard. You know, I can't be hard all the time. And that's what I was told from my ex. You're so hard, you're so cold, you know. So I take that in, and I'm like, all right, Angie, calm down. Love on the man a little bit. And the response is great. You know, loving on him a little bit. I'm getting a little love back. But yeah, that upbringing can affect it sometimes. But yeah.
That's great. Let's shift the conversation. So we got into dating. Great. I need to put that as a topic so people will watch it to get some pointers from you all. But let's talk about the trauma that African American women face. You know, Black women are disregard. You know, it is what it is. We're not hearing what you're saying. You know, we hear that with women in the hospitals giving birth. And a lot of times for Black women, you just have to make it happen, right? You just have to make it happen
every day.
Let's talk about because trauma is real when it comes to Black women. Is that something that we could fix in our community? How do we go about fixing the traumatic experiences so we don't pass them down from generation to generation? So we can, like Ms. Angela said, so we can love on our kids, so we don't have to be so blocked off.
I think we need to start with, first and foremost, acknowledging, just like Angie said, you have to be able to acknowledge that that is a character flaw. That's a shortcoming. And I mean, I've suffered from that aspect of not loving on people as much as I should, because I wasn't raised like that. But the older I get, the more affectionate I become. And also, I think it's important that we take away the stigma from therapy. There is a massive stigma. I mean, I think it's becoming a little more prevalent now, but there is a massive stigma associated with seeking counseling to be able to work through your issues and be able to talk about where you were and how you came to be the person that you are today. And I mean, in most every aspect of your life stems from childhood issues. And until we can properly address those deficiencies and address the stigma associated with seeking therapy and being able to come full circle in your life, you're really never going to see the change that is necessary in order for us to heal and move forward.
Absolutely. What do you think about that, Tiff?
You know, I cannot speak on trauma. I did not have a traumatic upbringing. My parents are still married today, and I grew up with two brothers, and so my upbringing was a little different than it didn't cause me any kind of trauma. Right. But I do see how trauma can contribute to a person, who a person is now, just based on the outside looking in. And Nina's right. Therapy is really important, but you have to be willing to say, I need some therapy. We need therapy as a family. We need this, we need that. I know somebody that's very close to me that refuses to go to therapy, but she needs it. You know what I'm saying? She needs it. And I think if she gets therapy and talks through some of her issues with abandonment and all of these different things, she'll be better off in every part of her life. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying I don't have any kind of trauma to relate to as far as growing up is concerned. But I do think therapy is very important, and having these critical conversations, at this point in life, I'm 44, and I'd like to believe that if there was a conversation I needed to have with my mom or my dad and say, hey, you made me feel this way growing up, and as a result, this is the kind of person I am. This is how it comes out at 44 years old, that I would be able to have that conversation. But then again, when you go back to generations, there are just some things you don't talk about. There are just some things you do not acknowledge. And so therefore, it is traumatic. It is traumatic.
Let's talk about that. Why is that? Why do we not bring up certain things? I mean, we may not have the answers, but our parents' generation, I think our parents may all be the same age. What is that not bringing this up? Let's not talk about that. Let's sweep it under the rug. Don't bring that up in my house. What is that about?
Well,
accountability.
What house stays in this house. And you're right, Nina. You're right.
It's accountability.
Yeah.
While I fully respect the rules of the house and keeping things in house, so to speak, but I think it is major deflection and a massive amount of lack of accountability. Because if we discuss this and we get to the root of it, then I'm going to have to own what I did, what I said, how I behaved. And correct. My parents are just not in a position to be accountable to that level. I think, that's just not how they operate. And that's just not the space that they're comfortable in. While my generation is a little better, I think my children who are coming behind me, they're even better at it. But I think it just boils down to accountability or lack thereof.
You're right. It's like holding a mirror up to somebody's face and letting them see who they truly are or who they have been. And you're right. Our parents, they're not trying to hear what we have to say necessarily, because we're still their child.
And that's disrespectful.
And that's
you could be 60 years old and you still disrespectful.
You still disrespectful.
Don't you tell me what I did. Don't you tell me what I did. You better not tell me. Shut your mouth. Right. I'm just telling you what you did to me. You used to beat me when I came in. No, shut your mouth. You just can't.
Yeah.
Well, I used to get a lot of whoopings, as Nina knows, and I was told that I needed whoopings. That's a whole nother conversation. So,
Well, you did.
no kid needs whoopings.
What?
But don't start it. How?
Okay.
So, are you all teaching your children about the accountability, and are you holding yourselves accountable when you see when things happen to you in any aspect of your lives? Let's start with Angela. Angela, we haven't heard from you on that aspect.
Are my kids being accountable?
Or teaching them, about the accountability piece of life.
Let me say this. That's a different generation. My kids are different.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were just speaking, how the things we wouldn't say to our parents, our aunties, uncles, grandparents, my kids, unfortunately, tell me right now, but for Brandon, you did this, and for money, you did that. And how you gonna say we can't, but you just did this? And Lord, I pray for myself every day, because every day I want to slap the dog out of them. I'm like, you're disrespectful, you this, and that. But on the other hand, I'm like, all right, you're right, I did do that. And I was wrong for that. And I thank them for it sometimes, so that I can hold myself accountable where I was wrong. As we speak, our parents, grandparents, they were wrong, but they don't want to talk about it, and we can't bring it up. Okay, well, let's talk about it, And I tell my kids, let's talk about it. Let's sit down, let's talk about it. Tell me where I was wrong. Tell me, what did I do wrong? Tell me, what did I say wrong? How did I hurt your feelings? And we talk it out, so next time it won't happen. And work on some things. Or if I slapped you on the right cheek, I'd slap you on the left one next time, And we'll just work it out that way. But yeah, I teach them, and we talk it out. It's working here.
Absolutely. Nina, you look like you want to add something to that.
You mean
I think
you're back muted, Nina. Hold on, let's unmute you. There you go.
Okay. I said, I think part of that is we didn't really do a good job of defining what disrespect was. And I say that from a personal perspective. I also say that from a professional perspective, in that disrespect can take so many forms. And so while, my upbringing said that you don't say words like but, because that's too close to cursing.
Right.
You don't say words like dang, too close to cursing. Yeah. So in that, we didn't really.
Tiffany said lie. She said lie. You're telling a story.
Yeah, you better not say that. A lie will get you a beat down. If you said lie, you might as well.
Right.
What's the worst curse word you could think of? Because lie was one of those. So in saying that, I did not do a good job of teaching my kids what I felt was disrespectful until it happened. And then I called it out as disrespect. So they didn't really have a clear frame of reference on what disrespect was until something happened. So that's on me. And I have to own that, because I'm an educator. I should have been able to teach you that these things are considered disrespectful. I didn't do that. I didn't do it until you did something disrespectful. So you can basically say anything is disrespectful.
But Nina, is that something you really have to teach? I mean,
Yes, God.
No. What I'm saying is that something that you needed to teach your kids prior to something happening? I told somebody.
Absolutely.
Well, and again, our kids are much different than what
night and day.
That's what I was about to say. In this day and time,
I would have never said some of the things. This head that sits on this neck, on these shoulders, would have been. But can you see it good now? It would have been rolling down Luke 12 had I said some of the things that I have heard as a parent. I'm just like, did you just say that to me? Like, now your mama is not like, but they say it and they don't think anything about it because they don't really know what disrespect is. In their minds, they're just expressing their feelings.
And Nina, I have to say that sometimes they are. Sometimes they're just expressing their feelings. I have
It's a way. It's a
listen,
way.
there's a way all the time.
It's a
There's a way
way.
all the time. But what I'm saying, what my initial statement to you was, you didn't have to say anything until it came out, right? I can recall my son is the only kid that his mama put him in ISS as his assistant principal. Well, somebody
What is ISS? Is that suspension center or something?
Yes, that's in school suspension.
Yeah.
You put him in suspension? What?
Hey,
You said that's
I had
a
mine
lot.
suspended and made him walk home.
Second grade. He was, listen, he was
3
in
days
in gym, and somebody cursed at him, and he just said it back. Okay. And so when I got back to campus, they're like, so Steph said the F-bomb, and we're trying to figure out if he's ever heard it. Well, at that time, he hadn't heard it. He had not heard it. And so the boy said it to him, he said it back, and I said, okay, son, these are words that you shouldn't say. If you don't know what they mean, don't you say them. And that was it. Well, the next couple of weeks, he said shit. Well, the teacher told him what center he was going to. I said, Steph, didn't I tell you don't use words that you don't know what they mean? And he said, well, I just thought it meant all man. Well, you're going to be all man in ISS. And so, though that's when I say he didn't know at that time. He knows now, but he didn't know at that time what those words meant. But still, there was a consequence. So I say, Nina, your babies didn't know it was disrespectful until you told them. But like my 21-year-old, she'll say some things now, and she's very mild mannered, but she's very to the point and direct, right? So she'll say some things now, and I'm thinking, girl, you a whole adult, I'll fight you. But the thing is, she's just, if you know Caitlin, she's just expressing what she's feeling at that moment. She doesn't mean any harm, but I'll still say, now, Katie, that was a little disrespectful. And she'll look like, well, I just said.
Right.
But that's
because we didn't, I'm telling you, because I know personally for me, I did not frame what disrespect looks like, what it sounds like, what it is for me. Now, my grandparents, who I was raised by, they had a whole different level of disrespect. Like you walk a fine line. You better not veer too far to the left or too far to the right. That's just what it was. Right. But my kids, they get away with murder. Literally.
No, mine.
Well, that's different parenting for different strokes. Let's shift the conversation because we're almost running out of time. I want to talk to you all about women being women. I want you to think about who you were maybe 15 years ago, and I want you to speak to the younger generations. Who would you, or what advice would you give to a younger Nina, Angela, and Tiffany? What sound advice would you give yourself? Anybody can jump in here.
Be quiet. Be quiet. Filter your mouth.
Filter your mouth.
Filter your mouth. Hold your tongue.
I agree with that.
Everything that comes in your head does not need to come out of your mouth. Okay. I probably would be president had I followed that advice.
Well, it's never too late.
Actually, it is.
It is.
Yes. Yes, it's too late. It's over for me. Yeah, that day is gone.
What about you, Angela?
I agree with Nina. Me and Nina, we pretty much have like parallel lives.
We do.
Like we've been knowing each other since school. But I agree. My mouth is a weapon. And I really wish I had filtered some things 15 years ago. Even with that, I would probably still be married, on how to talk to my husband, because I was so strong. I was so hard. So watch what you say. Filter your words, as Nina said. Be loving, be caring, and whatever you want, go for it. Don't wait. Don't put yourself on the back burner. I did. Please don't put yourself. Always put you first. Always. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. What about you, Tim?
Well, like my sisters here, my tongue is something else. So I would agree with them. I would agree with them. I mean, even today, it can be, but in the, I guess I can't say the right setting, but again, it's situational. But to my younger self, I probably would tell my younger self that it's okay not to do everything. It's okay not to be able to do everything. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to accept some help. It's okay to
Mhm.
accept some help from somewhere. Um, yeah, you are not Superwoman. That would be it.
That,
Because
that,
a lot of things happened as a result of me trying to do everything all by myself.
And be all things to all
All
people.
things to all people. That's it. That's it.
that,
That's
Yeah.
it.
that
Which will run you in the ground
in the ground.
if you allow it.
Right.
I probably would have told myself back then, 15 years ago, you can be whatever it is you want to be.
Just can't be everything.
Whatever it is, and having a PhD has its own perks and benefits. That wasn't what I wanted. Wasn't that was I settled for that degree. I wanted to be an MD. That was what I always wanted to do. But I let somebody get in my head to tell me, oh, well, you really don't need to go to school that long. Ultimately, I did anyway. I and still didn't get what I wanted to get, but I let somebody tell me that you don't need to be in school that long. You had his kids, you had his life, and I listened to that. So that's what I would have told myself 15 years ago. You can be whatever you want to be.
But even with that, Nina, you've done a lot, and I know Nina because she's my cousin. Even whatever trials and tribulations that you've been through, you have actually accomplished a lot. And what we can say about you is you actually made it happen, and that is really of your character, indicative of your character and who you are. And I think that speaks to Black women everywhere. No matter what you do, or no matter whatever mistakes you make, there is still hope. You can still make it happen as long as you have breath in your body. You can make things happen, right, ladies?
That's right. That's right.
You can.
You can make it happen.
You know, there's a word that I have not heard spoken tonight, going back to the original topic, and that's intimidation.
Right. Okay.
And
that's major.
That is.
It just popped up. Matter of fact, it popped up when you talked about your PhD, because I'm sure you come against a lot of resistance because the doctor is in.
But you know what? The resistance that I encounter is not from white people. It's not from Karens and Becky, so to speak.
No.
It's from people that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we sitting at the table, you want to address me as Nina, you don't get a response. I keep talking. Oh, are you talking to me? Oh, because I'm Dr. Price.
No, she really does. She really does.
And sometimes you have to slide your credentials across the table because my professional self is completely different than my social self. And sometimes people see me in certain settings or in a certain light and they think that they can handle me differently. Be not deceived. Be not deceived. So, it's from people that look like me, that don't want to give me the respect that I deserved and earned. And that's so unfortunate because it's like we're our own worst enemy as Black women.
People get hung up on titles, and so they get intimidated by titles.
They do.
Unnecessarily, because of the way I carry myself. I'm often thought of as I've been called bougie, of course, and uppity, those kinds of things. And I'm everyday Tiffany. You understand what I'm saying? I can cut up with the
But you are kind of bougie though.
Just a little bit. She got this shoe collection, y'all. Know. Go ahead.
Really? but really, whatever Tiffany you summon is what you're gonna get. That's what it is.
Yeah, you determine which person you get.
That's right. You determine which Tiffany you get. Are you gonna get the everyday cool Tiffany, or are you gonna get the Tiffany that is about business and strictly about business because this is where you have chosen to reside? You know, but I don't ever mean to come off as bougie or uppity, but it just depends on how you've come to me. And if you are intimidated, that intimidation is going to come out, and it's going to be it's going to be bad, and I might take advantage of it and I might not. It all depends.
Right.
I think it's all in how we carry ourselves, you know. A lot of men, I could be out. I go out a lot, you know, I travel a lot. And just the way I walk into a room, they're intimidated. And they've told me that, you know, or I've heard from their friends or whatever. So, Nina, let me ask you this. When you meet a guy, do you tell them that you have a PhD?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And so down the road, when you do tell them,
the whole conversation changes.
Everything changes, huh?
Everything changes. Or if not, may not be that I have told them, but they'll find out through other avenues.
Mm-hmm.
And that I can tell at the, oh, you a doctor? And to me, it's not really a big deal because that's not who I am. That's just what I've achieved. That's not me.
Right.
So that is intimidating to a lot of people.
It's
not just men. It's not just men.
It's not.
Women, it's
not.
women too. And I'm not a no new friends type of person. I'm not. I have a friend who, you know, I can't be friends with people on this, you know, on this video right here. But but no, she's not like that for real. But it's with females too. No matter what the race, no matter what the age, no matter what stage, it's with anybody. If you care, my mom taught me a long time ago, you walk in the room like you own the place. And she says,
that's right.
She says that now. She says, I almost can tell when you have walked in because of the way people react. And when I tell you, I'm not walking in with my head hung low. It's, you know, I'm focused on where I'm going, and that's just the way I handle life altogether. But people's perception oftentimes is their reality, and it may not be in my favor, but that is okay, because if you perceive me in a certain way and you have not taken the time to get to know me, then that is on you. And so no, Tiffany is not angry. Tiffany has boundaries and expectations.
Hey now.
And that's just it.
And
point that phrase.
And let's pin it right there. And you know who else said
that?
Church
say amen.
Let the church say amen. We're about to run out of time, but you never apologize for who you are. You walk in the room and you be yourself. And if they not with it, they ain't with it. Guess what? That's a whole other group of people that I need to be with. You know what I mean? So while you at the Marriott, I'll be at the Crescent. Right? That's a whole Dallas thing for those who are.
I prefer the Four Seasons.
Four Seasons, Ritz, wherever you want to be.
I was about to say, I prefer the Ritz.
Well, listen, so let's go to the final thoughts. We got a couple of minutes left before we have to close out the show. Thank you all so much for coming on. We realize that Black women are powerful. You are not angry. You gave it. We went all over the place today, but that was a great conversation, and I think people will really enjoy it. So let's go with the final thoughts. Miss Angela, we'll roll with you.
Oh, final thoughts. It will go back to my last sentence. Hey, always be you. Be honest with yourself, and always put yourself first.
Absolutely. And we'll hit you, Tiffany. What's going on? Final thoughts.
You just brought up a good point. Be unapologetically who you are. And if you take a good look in the mirror and you see that there are things you need to tweak, don't apologize for tweaking those things. They just make you who you are. But have boundaries and expectations, and that's of everybody. Friend, kin, relationships, everybody.
Absolutely. And to you, Dr. Nina.
Doc?
Did it freeze?
It froze.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What would I say? Black women as the strong, powerful people that we are, we still need to learn to filter our tongues. Hold your mouth. Hold your mouth. Because it can be a weapon, and we have to learn how to harness that energy and produce it, regurgitate it positively. And that would be what I would say to any Black woman or any woman, period. Know the power that you have and be able to manifest it in a positive way. And without doing that, I mean, we lost. So, and I would prefer not to be lost. So each one teach one so we can reach them all.
That's right.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you, ladies. Hold tight for me in the green room for 2 seconds, all right? And shout
2
out
seconds.
to Z. You don't know what happened to Z, but we got to get on
She
another
said
show.
her internet was acting funny. So
Oh, ain't nothing but the devil. Well, y'all hold tight
ain't
for me.
nothing but the devil.
Thank
All
you all
right.
so much for coming on.
Okay.
Listen, we had a great show today. Listen, Black women are not angry. Black women are multifaceted. They are powerful. They will not be silenced. We will hear them. We will listen to them. Listen, don't apologize for who you are. Be unapologetically you. You've listened to Phil and Friends right here on WHCR 90.3 FM. I'll see you same time, same place next week. All right, y'all. Peace.